Have you ever stood at the edge of a crumbling world, where the smoke of forgotten lives clings to your skin like ash after a funeral pyre, and wondered if the face staring back in the mirror was ever truly yours? That raw, gnawing question of identity, echoing through history like a soldier waking from a war he doesn't remember, or a king stripped of his crown, pulses at the heart of Dorohedoro Season 2, Episode 8, released on May 6, 2026, with near-simultaneous global streaming on platforms like Crunchyroll and Netflix. This episode hits like a hammer through glass, shattering the fragile balance built in prior arcs and dragging us deeper into the whole's bloody, chaotic embrace. You can almost taste the grit and gyoza grease in the air, feel the sticky warmth of blood underfoot, and hear the distant roar of a city unraveling. If you've followed Cayman's relentless hunt, this episode doesn't just continue the story, it yanks you by the collar into its madness, leaving you desperate for answers that hover just out of reach, picking up from the escalating tensions and revelations of previous episodes, where alliances fracture, old wounds reopen, and the lines between whole residents and sorcerers blur like ink in rainwater. Episode 8 throws the sorcerer world into turmoil. Titled with segments like Confusion Shock, Black Box, and Room 501, it centers on the shocking fallout from a major figure's demise, the sorcerer's ensuing chaos, and Nikaido's deepening reluctance to unleash her formidable magic. Cayman, driven by his lizard-headed amnesia and protective instincts, presses forward in his solitary quest, while the broader narrative hurtles toward revelations about curses, black smoke, and hidden powers. Without spoiling the visceral turns, this episode tightens the noose around core mysteries, transitioning from personal vendettas to larger ripples that threaten to drown everyone involved. Imagine walking alone through a festival of predators after losing your only anchor. That's the pulse here. It leaves you hungry, uneasy, and utterly compelled to uncover what lies in the shadows. This episode masterfully advances the central mystery while balancing chaos and introspection. The death of a key sorcerer, one you'd expect to loom like a mountain, sends shockwaves akin to a tyrant's sudden fall in ancient Rome, exposing cracks in power structures and forcing uneasy alliances. Pacing feels relentless yet deliberate, bursts of confusion and action interspersed with quieter, heavier moments of realization. Key revelations deepen the curse lore and Cayman's origins without handing over all the keys. Cliffhangers abound, particularly around Nikaido's magic and its personal cost, echoing classic tales of forbidden power like Prometheus stealing fire only to suffer eternally. Fan discussions on Reddit and elsewhere highlight confusion around certain cloudy elements, such as the exact mechanics of smoke, time manipulation hints, and resurrection attempts. Manga context clarifies that these tie into broader themes of consequence and identity, where death can unravel spells but not the deeper scars. The adaptation stays faithful while heightening the animated tension that Cayman's resolve hardens like forged steel, his choices reflecting a man haunted by a mouth that speaks truths he can't fully grasp, much like a trauma survivor piecing together a broken past. Nikaido's internal struggle shines. Her aversion to magic feels profoundly human, a weight of past accidents, hints of time gone wrong and lost loved ones, that makes her restraint heartbreakingly relatable. Supporting figures like those in the N family grapple with loss and adaptation, their motivations shifting from dominance to desperate survival. Dialogues carry raw authenticity, surprising in their vulnerability amid the gore. Power corrupts and isolates, much like absolute rule in historical empires. Morality dissolves in survival's fog. When does protection become abandonment? Sacrifice and identity clash as characters confront what they're willing to lose. Hope flickers dimly against despair, like a single candle in the whole's darkness. These aren't abstract. They bleed through every choice, forcing us to question our own masks. New layers on sorcerer society. Festivals masking hunts for power, black boxes of secrets, institutional rooms hiding horrors, enrich the universe's grotesque beauty. Rules around magic and smoke feel lived in, complicating alliances and raising stakes. Sharp, poetic in its brutality, with lines that linger like echoes in an empty alley. No cliches. Every word carries the taste of smoke and impending doom. Mappa delivers with striking consistency. Art director Shuhei Tada, or returning elements from Shinji Kimura's influence, crafts a world where grimy shadows swallow light, colors bleed from vibrant chaos to muted despair, and stillness amplifies dread before explosive movement. Key animator contributions, including talent like Yutaka Taka Nakamura on select cuts, bring fluid, impactful action. Direction and cinematography use tight angles to trap characters in their emotions. Close-ups on trembling hands or distant shots of crumbling order mirror inner turmoil. The OST haunts and elevates. Motifs swell during revelations, silent screams during quiet horrors. Voice acting stands out. Wataru Takagi as Kamen embodies gravelly determination with soul-shaking depth, while Reina Kondo as Nikaido captures quiet torment beautifully. Other CU bring chaotic energy to the ensemble. This episode left me with a knot in my chest, like witnessing a friend's quiet breaking point after years of carrying the world. Moments of loss hit like a gut punch, while flashes of dark humor and resilience spark wonder. The collision of destinies feels inevitable, a breaking wave that shifts the entire tide. Probes universal fears. What if reclaiming yourself destroys what you love? What scars do we hide, and at what cost? You'll feel the ash on your tongue long after the credits. Pacing might overwhelm newcomers with its density, and some lore threads remain opaque by design, mirroring the character's confusion. These aren't flaws but choices that reward patience and rewatches, much like peeling an onion that bites back. Episode 8 excels as a pivotal storm of revelation, chaos, and raw humanity, succeeding brilliantly in deepening the narrative while delivering visceral thrills. Its strengths in character and atmosphere far outweigh any deliberate murkiness. So, what face will you wear when the smoke clears? The whole is calling. Don't resist. Dive in, feel the bite of its teeth, and chase the answers yourself. This isn't just an episode. It's the moment your own journey into the unknown becomes unavoidable. Watch it. The desire to know will haunt you until you do.